Hey, you. Yeah, you. You're new here, aren't you? I can tell because you still have that fresh color to your face, and your neck isn't clean enough. Look, what I mean. Yeah, we all have these bite marks, but our master is neat, and it's best to keep them clean. Not only does it keep them from getting infected, and I've got to admit it isn't often with these kinds of bites, even if you don't. But also, she tends to get a bit pissier if she comes around and you aren't clean when she wants blood. You better not even think of mentioning that I described her as pissy. I've been here a long time, and I know that she and her brother have a bit of a sadistic streak without you making my life harder. Though really, I wouldn't worry too much about that yet. You're so new that you're probably just going to be doing menial tasks, like cooking for the other servants and cleaning. It's important to keep the blood flowing here. If too many of us get sick or don't have enough blood to give, things start getting nasty. And I personally prefer our quality of life to be as good as possible. I suppose I could tell you a little bit about our master, but there really isn't much I can say myself. There are certain rules of conduct that you likely need to be aware of. Some of it should be common sense, but I don't think everyone has it. Unless they ask you to, and they will at times. You definitely try not to look them in the eye. Casual eye contact is a good way to get singled out, and you don't want to be here. Whether you're being singled out as a favorite or as a nuisance, there's always a hard and fast point when the fatigue and blood loss is going to catch up with you. It's our job as servants to be prepared to serve. It isn't our job to decide whether or not they're pushing us too far. And our particular master, the woman, does not have a penchant for pushing. She particularly likes to test it when a servant complains about being at their limit. That's when she does push. No, of course I don't know anything about that. I, for one, prefer to keep my head down. But I know you listener types. You like to be put into awkward situations with strange otherworldly beings. You have to be seen. But I remember what it was like to be invisible, how desperate a person can become to be acknowledged. That's not important, however. We're not here to discuss that. We're here to assure you stay alive, because I really do want that for you to survive this. There are rumors that some servants, if they serve long enough, are allowed to leave. Some may say with good enough behavior and a strong enough will to serve rather than trying to escape, our masters will be generous enough to allow you to live out the rest of your days in peace, away from all of this. And some say that it's the natural procession of old age that does it, as you're no longer needed after a certain time. But I personally don't believe that to be true. I believe it's more than likely that by the time you reach that point, you won't want to leave. Besides, what would keep them from simply draining you dry rather than allowing you to be used up and grow too old? Some of us have forgotten that we are called servants merely as a formality. We are as much servants as cows are pets. And though, like some people find some cows more useful than food, or adore them more than livestock, the common servant shouldn't bet on being more than that. Does that rub you the wrong way? Does that scare you? I imagine you would prefer to be one of the lucky ones that aren't simply a source of servitude and food for our masters. But I must warn you, there's another very real danger you might face, and that's the act of attempting to be too pleasing. They're no fools. They can tell when a servant is trying too hard to be likable or attempting to give too much in order to gain favor. They hate those sorts of people. They despise keeping them near them, and they will absolutely destroy those kinds of people in a second if they find their adoration anything less than pleasant or reasonable, or feel it's coming from a place that isn't sincere. Like most people, they would prefer a servant that's honestly and openly disdainful of them over someone who is an empty flatterer. I've seen plenty of people die this way, and I can't say that I feel any sense of loss for them. Now, when they do feed on you, you need to stay still and you need to stay relaxed. It will only make it worse for you if you tense up. If you start to panic, take a deep, slow breath and keep breathing and focus on something in the background. Roll it around in your mind until it's over. If you do well enough, you might be rewarded. Now, quick, be quiet for a moment. It was a false alarm. I remember one servant that was fairly memorable. They were the sort of person that the average person wouldn't want to be if they were to find themselves here. As we both know, vampires are naturally stronger than mankind and most other beings that they take as servants. This woman would argue and fight with them often, and every time they would put her back in her place. But she would soon be arguing with them again, and they loved her for it. She did more work than all the other servants when she was capable, and would always be the first to volunteer. None of us knew what happened to her, but there are rumors that she couldn't take it anymore after struggling to be the best for so long. So she went to stand on the tallest wall, and she granted a wish.